99% people get confused at the airport, not because English is difficult, but because they don't know what to say at the right moment.
Yes, and everything happens so fast, people are waiting, announcements are playing, and suddenly you feel pressure.
But today, we're going to fix that.
We'll walk through real airport situations step by step, so next time you feel calm and confident.
By the end of this conversation, you will know exactly what to say at the airport.
So you don't panic, you don't freeze, you just speak naturally.
Let's start from the very first moment, when you enter the airport. Imagine this, you just arrived at the airport for the first time.
You look around, and everything feels big, busy, and a little confusing.
Yes, there are people walking fast, screens everywhere, announcements in the background.
And inside your mind, one thought starts. What do I do first?
This is where most people feel nervous.
Not because they don't know English, but because they don't know the situation.
Exactly, so let's slow it down.
Step 1, you need to find your airline check-in counter.
You look at your ticket, you see your airline name.
Then you look at the big screen in the airport.
The screen shows flights, numbers, and counter information.
But maybe it's still confusing.
So now you do something very simple, you ask.
You go to an airport staff member and say,
"Excuse me, where is the check-in counter for this flight?"
That's it, short, clear, polite.
And don't worry about your accent.
The staff will understand you.
They might say, "Go straight, then turn left. It's counter B12.
Now you feel a little better.
You walk to the counter, you stand in line.
And this is another moment where people feel nervous.
Because they start thinking, what will they ask me?
But relax, the conversation is always simple.
When it's your turn, you go to the desk.
The staff smiles and says, "Good morning."
You reply, "Good morning" or "Hello."
Then they ask the most common question.
"May I see your passport and ticket?"
And you just say, "Yes, here you are."
You give your passport and ticket.
Now they check your details on the computer.
Then they may ask, "Do you have any bags to check in?"
If you have a big bag, you say, "Yes, I have one bag."
If not, you say, "No, only carry on."
Very simple answers.
Sometimes they ask, "Did you pack your bags yourself?"
And you say, "Yes."
Or they may ask, "Do you have any liquids or dangerous items?"
And again, you just answer simply, "No."
You don't need long sentences.
Short answers are perfect.
Then they print your boarding pass.
And they say, "Here is your boarding pass. Your gate is A5.
You take it and say, "Thank you."
This small "thank you" is very important.
It makes you sound polite and confident.
Now you are done with check-in.
And think about it, was it really difficult?
No, it was just simple questions and simple answers.
But before learning this, it felt scary.
That's the difference, knowledge removes fear.
Now you are ready for the next step, security. Now you leave the check-in counter, and you start walking toward security.
This is the moment where many people feel more nervous than before.
Yes, because now everything moves fast.
People are standing in lines, putting bags on machines, taking off jackets.
And you start thinking, what do I do? Am I doing this right?
This is where confusion starts.
But again, let's slow everything down.
Step by step, very simple.
First, you join the line.
You wait for your turn.
While you are waiting, you look at other people.
This is very important.
Yes, just watch what they are doing.
You will see people taking out laptops, phones, and small bags.
You will see people putting their bags into trays.
So before your turn comes, you can prepare.
You take your bag, you open it slowly.
You take out your laptop if you have one.
You take out liquids like water or perfume.
And you put them in a small tray.
Now it's your turn.
The officer looks at you and says, "Put your bag on the belt."
This means, place your bag on the moving machine.
If you don't understand, don't panic.
Just say, sorry, can you repeat that?
This sentence can save you in many situations.
The officer may repeat slowly.
Put your bag on the belt.
And now you understand.
You put your bag on the belt.
Then they may say, take off your jacket.
Or, remove your shoes.
Again, just follow the action.
No need to speak too much.
Then they say, walk through the scanner.
You walk forward, slowly, calmly.
Sometimes the machine makes a sound.
And now you feel nervous again.
But don't worry.
The officer may say, step aside, please.
This just means, go to the side for a quick check.
You can say, okay.
Very simple.
Then they may check your bag again.
They might ask, is this your bag?
And you say, yes.
They may open your bag and ask about something.
Like, what is this?
And you answer simply, it's my charger or it's my phone.
Short answers are enough.
Now here is something very important.
Many people stay silent when they don't understand.
And this creates more confusion.
So always remember this sentence.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Or, can you speak slowly?
These sentences make your life easy.
The officers are used to travelers from different countries.
They will help you.
They are not there to make your life hard.
They just want security.
That's all.
Now your bag comes out from the machine.
You take your bag.
You wear your jacket again.
You take your phone, your passport.
And you check everything carefully.
This is important, don't rush.
Many people forget things here.
Like phone, wallet, or passport.
So take your time.
Then you move forward.
And now, something changes inside you.
Yes, you feel more confident.
Because you passed the most stressful part.
And it was not difficult.
It was just new.
And now it is not new anymore.
This is how confidence grows.
Step by step, situation by situation.
Now you are ready for the next part of the airport.
Finding your gate and waiting for boarding.
Now you leave the security area, and you enter a new part of the airport.
This place feels different, more open, more shops, more people sitting and waiting.
Yes, and now you think. Where is my gate?
This is another moment where many people feel confused.
Because gates can change, numbers can be different.
And if you go to the wrong gate, you can miss your flight.
So again, don't panic.
Let's do it step by step.
First, you look at your boarding pass.
You will see something like Gate A5 or Gate B12.
Now you look for the big screen again.
The departure screen.
It shows many flights, times, and gate numbers.
You find your flight number.
And you check, is the gate the same?
Sometimes it changes.
If it changes, don't worry.
Just follow the new gate number.
But maybe you still feel unsure.
So again, you ask.
Excuse me, is this the way to gate A5?
Simple, clear, confident.
The staff or another passenger will help you.
Now you start walking.
Airports are big, sometimes you walk for many minutes.
You see signs like Gates A1, A10.
You follow the signs.
Step by step, you get closer.
Finally, you reach your gate.
And now you feel a little relaxed.
You see people sitting, waiting, looking at their phones.
You sit down too.
But here is another important moment.
Listening to announcements.
Yes, this is where many learners struggle.
Because announcements are fast.
But you don't need to understand every word.
Just listen for key words.
Like your flight number.
Or the word boarding.
For example, you may hear,
Flight 302 to London is now boarding.
that's your signal.
Time to get ready.
But sometimes it's not boarding yet.
You may hear, Flight 302 is delayed.
That means you need to wait more.
Or, gate has changed to be 14.
Very important to listen.
Now imagine, you didn't understand the announcement.
What do?
You don't stay silent.
You ask the person next to you.
Excuse me, did they call Flight 302?
This is natural and very common.
People help each other at airports.
Now finally, boarding starts.
People stand up and form a line.
You join the line.
And again, you feel a little nervous.
What will they ask me?
But again, it's very simple.
When it's your turn, the staff smiles.
And says, "May I see your boarding pass?"
You say, "Here you go."
They scan it.
Sometimes they say, "Thank you."
Or, "Have a nice flight."
And you reply, "Thank you."
That's it, no stress.
Now you walk toward the plane.
This moment feels special.
Yes, because now you know.
You did everything by yourself.
You spoke English.
You understood instructions.
You asked questions.
And you didn't panic.
This is the real goal.
Not perfect English, but real communication.
Now compare this to before.
When you felt lost, confused, nervous.
And now, you feel ready.
You feel in control.
This is how learning works.
Real situations, real practice.
Not just grammar, not just words.
But real life.
Now you are ready for the next step.
Entering the plane and speaking inside.
Now you walk through the tunnel, and you are about to enter the plane.
This moment feels different, a mix of excitement and nervousness.
Yes, because now everything becomes real.
You are not just at the airport anymore, you are about to travel.
You step inside the plane.
And the first thing you hear is a friendly voice.
Welcome aboard.
This is a very common sentence.
And you can reply simply, "Thank you."
Or just smile, that's also okay.
Now you walk slowly inside.
You look at the seat numbers above.
You check your boarding pass.
Maybe it says 14A.
Now you start looking for your seat.
But sometimes, it's confusing.
Yes, because numbers are small, people are standing, bags are everywhere.
And you start thinking, where is my seat?
This is normal.
So what do?
You ask.
You say, "Excuse me, where is seat 14A?
Very simple.
The flight attendant or another passenger will help you.
They may say, "It's over there or just behind you."
Now you find your seat.
You put your bag in the overhead compartment.
Or under the seat.
If it's difficult, you can ask.
Can you help me with this?
And many people will help you.
Now you sit down.
You take a deep breath.
And you feel, okay, I did it.
But sometimes, another situation happens.
Someone is already sitting in your seat.
Now you feel nervous again.
But don't worry, this is very common.
You just say politely.
"Excuse me, I think this is my seat."
And show your boarding pass.
The person will check and say, "Oh, sorry."
And they move.
Problem solved.
Now you sit comfortably.
Next, the flight attendant makes announcements.
They talk about safety rules.
You may not understand everything.
And that's okay.
Just listen for basic instructions.
Like fasten your seatbelt.
That means, put on your seatbelt.
Or turn off your phone.
Very simple actions.
Now the plane starts moving.
And some people feel scared here.
Yes, especially first-time travelers.
But you just sit calmly.
Now after some time, the flight attendant comes.
And they ask, "Would you like something to drink?"
This is your moment to speak.
You can say, "Yes, water please."
Or, "Juice, please."
Or, No, thank you.
Short and clear.
No need for long sentences.
Sometimes they ask, tea or coffee?
You just choose.
Tea, please.
Very easy.
Now imagine another situation.
You want something.
Maybe you feel cold.
So you say, "Excuse me, can I have a blanket?
Or you are hungry.
Can I have some food?
Or you need help.
Can you help me?"
These small sentences are very powerful.
Yes, because they work in many situations.
Now something important.
Many learners stay quiet on the plane.
Because they feel shy.
But remember, this is your chance to practice.
Even one sentence is progress.
Even saying thank you builds confidence.
Now sometimes, you sit next to another passenger.
And they may talk to you.
They might say, "Where are you from?"
And you can answer, "I'm from Pakistan," or your country.
Then they may ask, "Is this your first flight?"
You can say, "Yes, it's my first time."
Or, "No, I have traveled before."
Very natural conversation.
You don't need perfect English.
Just simple communication.
Now slowly, something changes again.
You start feeling more relaxed.
Because you realize,
You are speaking English in real life.
not in a classroom,
Not from a book.
but in a real situation.
And you are doing it.
This is the biggest step.
Confidence comes from these small moments.
One sentence at a time.
One situation at a time.
Now think about your journey.
From entering the airport, feeling lost.
To sitting on the plane, feeling calm.
That is real progress.
And now, you are ready for anything.
Because you understand the system.
You know what to say.
And you are not afraid anymore.
This is the goal of learning English.
Not perfection, but confidence.
Now let's move to the final part.
Arriving and leaving the airport.
Now the plane begins to land, slowly coming down.
You look outside the window, new country, new place.
And inside you feel something, a mix of excitement and a little nervousness again.
Yes, because landing is not the end.
There are still steps left.
Immigration, baggage, exit.
But this time, something is different.
You are not the same person who entered the airport.
You already handled everything before.
So now, you feel more ready.
The plane stops.
People stand up quickly.
Some are in a hurry.
But you stay calm.
You take your bag slowly.
You check your seat, your phone, your passport.
This is important.
Many people forget things in a hurry.
Now you walk out of the plane.
You follow the signs.
You see signs like arrivals or immigration.
You follow the crowd.
Everyone is going in the same direction.
So you don't feel lost anymore.
Now you arrive at immigration.
This is another moment where people feel nervous.
Because you have to speak to an officer.
But again, the conversation is simple.
You stand in line.
You wait for your turn.
You watch other people.
You see what they are doing.
When it's your turn, you walk forward.
The officer looks at you and says, "Passport, please."
You give your passport.
And you say, "Here you go."
Then they may ask, "Where are you coming from?"
You answer, "I'm coming from Pakistan," or your country.
Next question, what is the purpose of your visit?
This sounds difficult, but it's simple.
You can say, tourism.
Or, "I'm here for vacation."
Or, business.
Short answers are enough.
Then they may ask, how long will you stay?
You say, 1 week or 2 weeks.
Very easy.
No long sentences.
Sometimes they ask one more question.
Like, "Where will you stay?"
You can say, at a hotel.
Or, "With a friend."
That's it.
Then they stamp your passport.
And say, "Welcome."
This is a beautiful moment.
You smile and say, "Thank you."
And now, you are officially in a new country.
Next step, baggage claim.
You follow the sign, baggage.
You enter a big area with many belts.
Bags are moving around in circles.
You look at the screen.
It shows your flight number and belt number.
You go to the correct belt.
And you wait.
Now again, patience.
Some people feel stressed here.
What if my bag is lost?
But most of the time, it comes.
You watch the bags.
And finally, you see yours.
You take it.
You check it.
Everything is okay.
Now you feel relief.
But sometimes, there is a problem.
Maybe your bag is not there.
Now what do?
You don't panic.
You go to the help desk.
And you say, "Excuse me, I can't find my bag."
Very simple.
They will ask for details.
You show your baggage tag.
And they help you.
Again, simple English works. Now the final step, exit.
You walk toward the exit gate.
You may see a customs officer.
Sometimes they ask, "Do you have anything to declare?"
If you don't, you say, "No."
And you walk through.
That's it, you are done.
You leave the airport.
Now stop for a moment and think.
From the beginning to now.
You entered the airport feeling confused.
You didn't know what to say.
You felt nervous.
You felt pressure.
But step by step, you learned.
You spoke.
You asked questions.
You understood answers.
And now, you completed the full journey.
In English.
This is not just about travel.
This is about confidence.
This is about real communication.
You didn't need perfect grammar.
You didn't need difficult words.
You just needed simple sentences.
And courage.
That's it.
Now imagine your next trip.
You will not feel the same fear.
You will walk with confidence.
You will understand the system.
You will speak without panic.
Because now, you know.
And this is why 99% people get confused.
Because they never practice real situations.
But now, you are different.
You are ready.
So next time you go to the airport,
Remember this conversation.
use these sentences.
Stay calm.
And speak. Now you walk out of the airport doors, and everything changes.
Fresh air, new sounds, new people, a completely different environment.
And for a moment, you stop.
Because you realize something.
You just completed the entire airport journey, in English.
From confusion to confidence.
But now, the journey is not over.
Because real life starts here.
You look around, and you need to decide.
How do I go to my hotel?
This is another real situation.
And again, simple English is enough. Oncoming taxi part 1, taking a taxi.
You see taxis outside.
Drivers standing, people calling rides.
You walk to a driver.
And you say, "Hello, can you take me to this hotel?"
You show the address on your phone.
Very easy.
The driver may say, "Yes, get in."
Or, "It's 20 minutes."
You don't need long conversation.
Just simple communication.
Now imagine something else.
You didn't understand the driver.
He speaks fast.
You feel confused again.
But this time, you are different.
You say, "Sorry, can you speak slowly?"
This is confidence.
Before, you would stay silent.
Now you ask. During the ride, the driver may ask.
"Where are you from?"
You say, "I'm from Pakistan."
He may smile and say, "Welcome."
Small conversation, but powerful.
Because you are using English in real life. Hotel part 2, checking into a hotel.
Now you arrive at your hotel.
You walk inside.
This feels like another small, airport moment.
But now, you are calm.
You go to the reception.
And you say, "Hello, I have a reservation."
The staff will ask, "Your name, please."
You say your name.
Then they ask, "Can I see your passport?"
You give it.
Now something important.
Listen carefully.
You don't need perfect sentences.
Just clear words.
They may ask, "How many nights?"
You answer, 2 nights.
Or, 3 nights.
That's it.
Then they give you your room key.
And say, "Your room is on the 2nd floor."
You say, "Thank you."
Again, simple brain part 3, interchange, this is important.
Now stop and think.
From the airport, to the taxi, to the hotel.
You used English again and again.
And nothing was difficult.
Why?
Because you kept it simple.
This is where most learners make a mistake.
They try to speak perfect English.
They try to use big words.
And then they get stuck.
But real English is simple.
Short sentences.
Clear words.
Confident speech balloon part 4, realization moment.
Remember when you first entered the airport.
You felt nervous, confused, unsure.
Now look at yourself.
You handled everything.
Check-in.
Security.
Boarding.
Flight.
Immigration.
Taxi.
Hotel.
All in English.
This is not just learning.
This is transformation.
From fear
to confidence. Fire part 5, final message, powerful.
So if you are watching this right now,
and you feel nervous speaking English,
remember this.
You don't need perfect English.
You just need to start.
One sentence at a time.
One situation at a time. Don't wait to feel ready.
Because confidence comes after action.
Not before. So next time you travel,
walk into the airport with confidence.
Speak simple English.
Ask when you don't understand.
And trust yourself. Because now,
you are not the 99% anymore.
You are the 1% who knows what to do. And before you go,
tell us.
From where are you watching this video?
And what time is it in your country?